Hey there, Aquarius. Welcome to your reading for the week of June 13th to June 19th, 2022. This is a general reading, so take whatever resonates and leave behind for others whatever does not. To go deeper into what lies ahead this week, check out readings for your sun, moon, and rising signs. On June 13th, Mercury, which rules messages and the mind, enters its home sign of Gemini. On June 14th, there is a strawberry supermoon in Sagittarius, which inspires adventure, expansion of the mind, and seeing what's ripe for the picking. So this reading explores those themes. In the first column here, we get a message from the collective unconscious. You have the crossing, initiation. You also have Five of Wands, King of Wands, and Moon. In this second column, we get a message from your higher self. You have Wombat Spirit, be at home. You have Devil, Priestess, and Six of Wands. And in this third column, we find out where your truth is leading you. You have this Leo Shine card here. You also have Two of Wands, 10 of Coins, and 9 of Swords. So here, the message from the collective unconscious, the crossing, initiation, this kind of indicates a need or an invitation, basically, to cross over some area of unknown, to kind of build up courage and perhaps even desire to leave, the safety of where you are and cross over some unknowns to explore something that's greater, something that may really change your perspective of your world, kind of where beliefs that you have, things that you have as like your underlying rules or boundaries, where you go and just allow those things to fade away if they don't really serve your best and highest good. To a certain extent, it's kind of like the Fool, but also to some degree, it is similar to the Devil card, in that whatever is keeping you away from this crossing is, something that you have given strength to over time, but that power is the power that you've kind of given the resistance or the fear from actually, letting go of beliefs that don't serve you, is kind of the same power that you have to actually break through those bonds and, follow your passion and follow your intuition. The King of Wands is about, being a visionary leader. Takes courage to do something that It may be different from mainstream. It's not something where others can convince you to step into this power. And the King of Wands doesn't need to convince anyone to follow them on their journey. Basically, the King of Wands is such a powerful force, and so like charismatic, and has a message that will sway others to follow them wherever they're going. And with the moon here, it's a sense of a journey lying ahead, but needing to trust intuition, to tap into that lack of clarity and use that to your advantage to strengthen your ability to react to unknowns, to explore your imagination, to explore, creativity and ideas, to find different ways on your journey that isn't just one clear-cut specific way that everyone uses. This is an opportunity for you to really, break free of the mold. And with the Five of Wands here, kind of indicates conflict. This can be conflict and competition amongst other people around you, but it also can reflect internal conflicts and kind of just different goals or priorities conflicting with each other and not wanting to, or not having patience to really sort through things. But this is kind of just minor annoyances that really there's no, it's not a life or death type of situation. This is just different goals and priorities just going their own way and not having a way to get on the same page and be, parallel and work together. So to some degree, going to this crossing may really allow you to break away from certain beliefs or thoughts, ways of thinking about a situation where there might be more clarity coming in or more ability to tap into your intuition so that you can sense what is the right plan of course of action, prioritization there. So let's take a look at the Five of Wands. That seems to be a hold up. You have the Nine of Pentacles, and this is a card of enjoying the efforts of your work and being in a place of actually understanding the value that you bring to your environment, to the world, and how you can actually help others. The traditional Nine of Pentacles, there's an individual in a garden who's got 6 pentacles on one side and 3 pentacles on the other, with their hand over the 6 pentacles, indicating the ones that they're keeping for themselves. But the 3, they're able to invest in other things. They have the ability to provide it to charity, provide it into a business, basically to help with that flow of that flow of abundance. And with the Five of Wands here, it kind of indicates that this opportunity can allow you to get there, but there's this, conflict, and maybe there's a lesson to be learned with this idea of there being enough to go around, and that really everything can be done, and it needs just to be seen that way, as opposed to one or the other. So here, let's take a look at the King of Wands. Because you have this truth being the Leo shine, so it's definitely focusing on, this being your truth, this visionary leader, this courageous individual. You have the Nine of Swords, but you also have the Nine of Swords over here as well. So the Nine of Swords is a way of a self-talk, a way of communicating with yourself, a way of trying to problem solve an environment where it's almost unsolvable, because your mind is creating obstacles and illusions that are not probable, and to some degree not realistic. And so this kind of fear and anxiety here, when it comes to trusting your intuition, it can be difficult, because the lack of clarity starts being filled with those obstacles, those horrible potential outcomes that you can't really navigate through. So to some degree here, there may be a need to deal with this fear. Being this visionary leader requires courage, and courage, you can't just say have courage, overcome your fears. To some degree, there's a need to recognize what's going on here, recognize that there's a disconnect from reality with this type of problem solving, and almost needing to kind of look at things from, okay, well, odds are, a giant dragon is not going to jump out and breathe fire on me, and I'm going to burn to death and fall to the ground like ashes. So what are the not probable outcomes, and of the probable, potential outcomes or probable outcomes, which are pertain to this type of situation? If your journey is really applying for jobs, where is there going to be a situation where a dragon's going to pop out somewhere? So kind of a sense of needing to see the connection between reality and illusion, and then getting a sense of comfort in yourself so that you can tap into this intuition. You have, with the Nine of Pentacles here, this person is, totally confident in their abilities. Not only can they make the pentacles that they need for material security and happiness, they can, train a falcon too. So here it's almost a sense of you might be close to what it is you want, and the closer that you get to your success, the more that your mind kind of comes in to create these things to draw your attention away from that. Perhaps it could be ego. It could be, the people you surround yourself with. It could just be, kind of anxiety. And, if it's something that it could be nightmares, but if this is impacting your ability to tap into your sense of clarity, affecting your sleep, affecting your sense of confidence, then I'd say talk to a qualified mental health professional, because it seems that there's just, I know I haven't pulled many cards here, but there seems to be a disconnect with how you're processing reality and certain facts around you, and it's preventing you from really being comfortable in pursuing a new path. It's almost comfort in the anxiety here. So let's take a look at the Moon card. You have the Three of Swords. So a sense of, disappointment, pain, upset, perhaps dealing with hope, something that you hope for, hoping to succeed in some endeavor, and expectations really didn't go the way you were hoping it would go. So here, the three of Swords. This, you can see there's like a moon. It's not typically with a moon, but you can see there's like a moon in the background and clouds, to kind of give it that sense of here it is, fear and anxiety when it comes to even trusting your intuition, trusting how you feel about your situation. What's also interesting about the three of Swords is that this is about, like, to some degree there might be shame involved in something. Perhaps there was a shortcut that you took to get you somewhere that benefited you in the past. Maybe there's some imposter syndrome going on. If the Seven of Swords comes out, then that's an indication. But the Three of Swords here, it only takes one sword to really pierce the heart and do significant damage, and cause death. But there's three different swords piercing the heart, and it can be that they are healed at different times, and maybe there was an initial upset or an initial disappointment and you've gotten past that, but maybe there's a sense of guilt or a sense of shame that's still kind of lingering and needs to be attended to. So here, this message from your higher self, this be at home, it's really kind of calling for you to find what gives you comfort, and being honest about where you can feel that comfort, honest about what you need to feel comfortable in your own skin even. So here you have the High Priestess, which is associated with the moon. And you have the Devil card, and you have the Six of Wands. So to some degree, this kind of indicates like being trapped or giving away your power when it comes to victory and success. Perhaps you're not comfortable with, succeeding at something. I think it's interesting you're here at the Five of Wands and the King of Wands and needing to resolve that, and the next kind of step up is this Six of Wands. And I'm also kind of noticing here, where there is, this fiery energy, this confidence, really is contrasting with anxiety, fear, possibly self-doubt. Well, this kind of indicates self-doubt if this is your own ideas kind of conflicting with each other. So let's take a look at the Six of Wands over here. You have the Knight of Pentacles. Knight of Pentacles is one of the slowest moving knights, and they are really concerned about responsibility, reputation. They want to make their future, exactly the way it needs to be, however they need it to be. And they're very intentional about the next steps they take towards reaching that future. And they tend to enjoy the process along the way, except when it's overwhelming, except when there is a sense of being stubborn and stuck in certain ways. So here, to some degree, this idea of success, that you trying to be successful and victorious in, career, education, relationships, there's like a conflict of enjoying what's going on and then being stuck in a certain way of this has to be this way. So here I'm noticing that this card here is, I believe it's Jupiter in Leo. Jupiter is kind of the planet of expansion and growth and abundance, and Leo is the sign of courage and heart and leadership. So here there seems to be some type of some kind of issue with your growth, not comfortable in it. And let's take a look at the High Priestess. You have the Six of Pentacles, and that's a card of balancing wants and needs, getting a sense of harmony in your material world. And here it seems that you need to find a sense of balance and harmony when it comes to trusting yourself and trusting your intuition and your gut. This bee at home, this wombat spirit, kind of calls into question if, whether you are comfortable in your own skin. Are you able to find harmony and peace just within yourself? Do you know what calms you and comforts you? Let's take a look at the Devil card here. You have the Six of Cups, another card of balance and harmony. This is also a card to indicate inner child and reflections on childhood and the past. So for some of you, it kind of indicates some type of issue when it comes to long-term decision making, when there is a sense of authority or power involved. This could be something that you learned from a parent or a mentor, something that to some degree should be, should be giving you comfort, is almost seeming as if you are giving someone else power over you. So here, this sense of trusting yourself, maybe even having to do with secrets that you've had to keep, secrets that keeping those secrets didn't make you feel comfortable, and you needed to try to find a place of normalcy in keeping certain secrets or knowing certain information, and it's kind of thrown off your energy, your ability to find that sense of balance within yourself. So here, this truth, this Leo, this shine card, that's what this is. Your truth is leading you here, and it's kind of having you focus on this aspect of needing to step into your power and doing it for the purpose of not for victory, not for glory, not for ego, but for really being aligned with being a visionary leader. It also kind of indicates you might have a lot of creative talents that are not being tapped into because of certain, anxieties of really going into those places of imagination. But really recognizing that with power and leadership, you can really make positive changes. You can really come from the place of the heart and be a leader for, positive things. Maybe there is a fear that being in a role of leadership, maybe you learned that there's a tendency to try to control other people or abuse power, and that might kind of create a certain anxiety when it comes to you getting close to reaching that. So here with the Two of Wands, the sense of having you get outside of your comfort zone, and it's as if you're planning on making moves to make a change, but it might be that this fear and anxiety with the Nine of Swords is really preventing you from pursuing that role as a visionary leader. And Here with the Ten of Coins. Ten of Coins, it's kind of making me think of more of a legacy, something that is, handed down from generation to generation. So to some degree, it seems like this may be something in your family, like family karma, learning certain traits, maybe anxiety runs in the family, something along those lines. So I also, basically there is, the Ten of Coins is also about what exists in the material world. And again, recognizing imagination and unrealistic or obstacles that are not probable, and recognizing what is probable and what you can create in the material world. So let's take a look at the Ten of Coins over here. You have the Ten of Swords. And so, yeah, this is kind of indicating that a sense of how you problem solve, how you communicate, who you trust even, is going to be your own downfall. But there is this opportunity, there's a new dawn that's kind of ahead there. So, maybe you trusted the wrong person, maybe how you have been dealing with a certain situation, you just thought it through, and there's really nothing else to think through. It's just over and done with. And the thing about the Ten of Swords is that we as humans, we tend to think that a lot of things are kind of life or death. If we don't get in, it's making me think of a Supernatural episode where Sam and Dean were hunting vampires or something, and Sam was upset where Sam and Dean are actually monster hunters, and they protect the world. They let everyone believe that they don't live in a world with monsters, and that because they have this sense of safety, they think that things like not getting into the right school is going to ruin their life or be the end of the world for them. So it's kind of making me think of that. What is reality? What is, balancing your wants and needs, actual sense of harmony, and then what is actually, the end of the world or life or death type of situation. Here, this is just a way of thinking about something. Let's take a look at the Nine of Swords. You have King of Swords. So again, this is another card of like power and authority. So for some of you, it may be that there's maybe a negative association, again, with this concept of authority and power. But this is also a card to indicate like an expert. So again, if you've got some fear and anxiety, problems sleeping, headaches, things that really affect your ability to focus on what it is you're trying to do in the material world, then talk to a qualified professional. Let's take a look at the Two of Wands here. You have the Two of Pentacles. And this is the ability to really negotiate demands and responsibility. It's the ability to balance fun and work. It's also about recognizing that you can get into the flow of things, and it can be fun. Here, the Two of Pentacles, this individual's got like a really tall hat, and that does indicate that they're, like this King of Swords, that there is mental processes going on, and this is this very smart individual. But the way that they look at a situation, their sense of value of what factors they are negotiating, managing, there is an understanding about how those things operate in the material world. And so there's not this, there might be angst involved in terms of how many balls they can have in the air, how many things that they're managing, but taking on what is manageable can allow for, changing situations, allows for taking on something new, initiating down that road or that path that we aren't sure about. And here it ultimately kind of indicates that, your truth is that you are meant to shine, you are meant to be a leader, you are meant to rule from the heart. And whatever is preventing that, whatever beliefs that you have or that are preventing that those are beliefs that you really need to kind of let go of and drop away, because they're not for your best and highest good. And you don't always have to be, a leader and victorious. The best way to lead is to help other people lead and shine, to help other people rise up, and negotiating those things, negotiating when you need to be a leader, when you need to step back, when you should help others advance and get it into a certain balance of heart and harmony in that. But it seems first and foremost, there's a sense of your ability to heal and find comfort in your own skin, and being able to be in touch with your gut, your intuition, and going from there. So I'm hoping that this provides a helpful perspective of your week, and we'll see you next time. Take care.